Hello, and welcome back to Adults After Dark. My name is Mimi, and I'm your host for the evening. I would like to thank everyone who tuned in tonight, um, and all of you who tuned in last week. If you like these type of conversations, be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time a conversation is uploaded. This is an adult audio conversation. So if you are in the presence of minors, please send them to another room or put on your headphones or your earbuds so you can listen to this in private without them being distracted. Um, this is episode 2 of Adults After Dark. I do appreciate all of you who tuned in last week and who have subscribed to the channel. So this week's topic is do you cheat? Have you cheated? Have you been cheated on? Do you cheat? Have you cheated? Have you been cheated on? So I actually had another topic for tonight's episode, but I decided to go ahead and continue with the cheating. So last week's topic was, what do you consider cheating? And before we get started, like I said, tonight's topic is, do you cheat? Have you cheated? Have you been cheated on? And you know what? We're going to throw something else in there as well. Why did you cheat? If you did cheat, why did you cheat? What made you cheat on your significant other? Think about that, and you can actually start posting your comments down below. Guys, so now let's get on to episode 2 of Adults After Dark, and the topic is, do you cheat? Have you cheated? Have you been cheated on? And then, like I said, we're going to throw that extra one in there as to, why did you cheat? What was the reason? Were you not being satisfied at home? Are you just a natural born cheater? Is it in your DNA? I know some people, it actually is in their DNA. And they just will not be with one person. Now, they claim that they really love the person, but they still go out and do whatever it is that they're gonna do. Now, me personally, I have been cheated on. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to think back. My actually, oh my God, let me see. I was 16 and I met my daughter's father. He was, I think he was like 21 or 22. He was technically a grown man. I was 16. So he had been about 21, 22. And he cheated. Now, as young women, teenage women, not even quite teenage, but in our teenage years, our early 20s, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm one of them. We're stupid. We are so stupid. So when I was 16, like I said, I met my daughter's father. And we messed around. Actually, it wasn't even a good year. And like I said, he was technically a grown man. He was either 21 or 22. And after we messed around, I don't know how long we messed around. I know that it wasn't a year. That I do know. Um, and I met him because he stayed in the building that we stayed in. So the building that we stayed in, it was um kind of like, it was almost a, what you would consider like a courtway, but it didn't have that. Oh my God, what is those buildings called? I can't even think of the name of those buildings. But anyway, he stayed around the corner. Him and his family stayed around the corner. He stayed with his mother and his siblings. And we had a little puppy. It was a German Shepherd Husky mix. It was always so pretty. But anyway, we met, and I don't remember how the conversation started. But we end up talking. We end up messing around, and he would come to the house like when my mother wasn't there, and my brother had his girlfriend over. So things happen. We kicked it. Things happen, and I ended up getting pregnant. And then after I got pregnant, I don't know how long it was before he started messing with somebody else. And that somebody else was actually a lady that moved upstairs in our building that we were living in. We stayed on the first floor, and I think she was on the third floor. I think she was on the third floor. But anyway, he started messing around with her, and she ended up getting pregnant. And I believe our children are probably, I want to say 6 months to a year apart. I've never met her child, and I actually, excuse me, I actually forgot about that child until a couple of months ago, maybe 3, 4 months ago. Actually, it's been longer than that. My daughter was looking for him, and I gave her all the information that I had, and she finally did reach out to him, and he was telling her that you do have a sibling, and I don't remember if he said it was a girl or boy. Now, from my understanding, he has, I want to say, 6 girls, and his brother told me that. His brother told me that I believe he has 6 girls. But when my daughter talked to him a few months ago, he denied it. He only recognized her and then her sibling, but I don't remember, like I said, if it was a boy or girl. And so yeah, he cheated then. And then after that, let me see. After that, I ended up dating this other guy. I was still in high school, and yeah, I was still in high school, and I think I was 17, going on 18, and he was about 25. I think he was about 25, and it's so crazy because he was actually living with his girlfriend at the time and their 2 children. Now, I didn't know about her until later on. But so technically, he wasn't cheating on me. He was actually cheating on her with me. And then her and I got kind of close, and Um, her and I got kind of close. We looked after each other's children. I only had that one kid, and she ended up having two. Now, him and I just realized I'm a home wrecker. I am a home wrecker. I just realized that. So I knew about her and I knew about their two children. He and I still messed around, even when I found out. So eventually they end up breaking up. Now her and I, we were cool. We were close. She was out doing her thing. I knew about her doing her thing, but I didn't tell him. It wasn't my place to tell him. Those two, they were actually still together. They had ended up getting married, but she ended up being, going out doing her thing, and I didn't say that I knew about it. Me and her talked about it. I never said anything. Until this day, we're still cool. So I helped raise her kids, her two kids. She helped raise my one child, and me and the guy ended up still staying together. We were together for 14 years, but he was a serial cheater. And me being as young as I was in my 20s. I was in my early 20s. When I met him, I think I had to been about 17, almost 18, because I remember I was getting ready to graduate high school. So I was still young. And like I said, he was a grown man. And um, we ended up staying together, but he became a serial cheater. He was never faithful to me. All the 14 years that we were together, he was never ever faithful to me. And me being young and dumb, I accepted it. I don't know why I did. And I can't even say that I was in love with him, because of course I'm that young, at a young age. I don't know what love is. And I remember one particular day, um, I moved in with him. It was 4 days before I turned 19. I moved in with him. His wife was moving out. Like I said, his wife was doing her own thing. Me and her, we had got close, so we talked about it. And she ended up moving out. And she asked me if I would take care of her children. Of course, I did. I wasn't working or anything. And I took care of the children. Her children and mine. And the guy had cheated on me several times. I remember one time, I remember like it was yesterday, this one particular time I was in the bedroom, and I believe I was watching television. I hadn't been watching television, I was asleep or something. And I knew he had company, so I was in the room with the door closed. And then the doorbell kept ringing. I'm like, why is he not answering the door? He's out there in the living room. Why is he not answering the door? So I go to the door, and it was one of his friends looking for him. So I'm like, I didn't hear him leave or anything, right? So, but anyway, so I closed the door, and I'm like, well, where the hell is he at? So I walked down the hallway. Now we had a 3-bedroom apartment. So the kids had one room, we had our room, and then there was another extra room that the kids played in, and they had bunk beds in there. So I'm walking down the hall, and I'm looking in the room, and this girl was in the room. She was listening at the door. So when I opened the door, I saw her listening at the door. Y'all, she had on a red plaid shirt that was open, bra showing. She didn't have on no panties, no pants, no shoes, no socks. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm looking for my guy in the other bedroom, hiding behind the door with his pants practically at his knees. I was like, really? Really? Oh my God. I went off. But you know what, guys? I don't know. Like I said, I was young, and I think everybody um, that are in their late teens, early 20s, especially us females, we're young, dumb, and stupid. And I'm one of them. Young, dumb, and stupid. Now, I'm not taking that shit now. But I end up staying with him. You know, we fussed and cussed and all that stuff. I end up staying with him. And we, like I said, we was together for 14 years. And then there was another time that he cheated with a lady that lived right below us. And he practically moved in with her. He practically moved in with her, that literally directly below us, the same layout apartment. So we on the second floor, she was on the first floor. And by that time I had moved out and I had went back home to my mother because I had moved in with him. But I still stayed with him. To this day, I don't know why I did that. I have no idea what the purpose of me doing that. I don't know, just being young, dumb, and stupid. Like I said, we ended up being together for 14 years. And when we moved out of the apartment that we were in and moved to another place, he cheated again. And the girl claimed that that she was pregnant by him. Come to find out, they did do a DNA test and it wasn't his baby, but he cheated and she thought the baby was his. And then after that, they ended up breaking up. I think she had moved out or something. And then he ended up messing with somebody else. And I don't know why till this day. This is 2022. I have no idea why I stayed with him. I just can't for the life of me figure out why the fuck I stayed with him. But like I said, being young, dumb, and stupid. And I think as time went on, I got fed up with it. It had got so where I started to really, really hate him. And I can honestly say that I don't think I ever loved him. He proposed to me 3 times, and every time he proposed to me, I ignored him like I didn't even hear him. And we end up moving. So the building that we were living in they were closing down. So we end up moving out and moved someplace else. And y'all, he did it again. Now I'm in my late 20s now. Like so I'm fed up with him. I'm like, dude, we're not gonna continue doing this. So I would get up and go to work. You know, I would leave home at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't driving, so I was on a bus. And especially like when I worked the weekends, I, get up, get on the bus, and I found out he was on the bus behind me going to the girl's house, and then he would stay all weekend. I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm not young, dumb, stupid no more. I'm not that no more. And I got rid of him. I got rid of him, and I got rid of him in 2000. It was, don't remember the month, but it was 2000, year 2000. And it was so crazy because I'm not accepting that now. I don't know why I did that. I have no idea, but now that's not happening. So, of course, I found an article from InStyle magazine. I don't know what year this is, but I'm going to read some information on here. So this article in InStyle is the 9 most common reasons people cheat. And this is by Dr. Jen Mann. Oh, okay. I found it was, it's just updated. Updated August 29th, 2022. So it says, my last relationship ended because my partner cheated, and it wasn't the first time I've been cheated on either. It makes me skeptical to get back into the dating game. I'm worried I won't be able to spot a cheater coming and will be blindsided again. Are there telltale signs I should be looking out for? So it looks like she is asking questions, and then who is this? What did I say this was? Dr. Jen Mann answered the questions. I'm going to read this answer to you. Okay, so the person that wrote this paragraph, her name is Looking for Old Faithful. So it says, the response is, Dear Old Faithful, there are a few very clear patterns, personalities, and issues that are very likely to lead to cheating. Oftentimes when people I work with look back on their relationship, they can point out to very specific warning signs that led up to discretion. So my number one piece of advice, don't ignore those signs. People are surprisingly honest on the first few dates. When someone tells you you have always struggled to be monogamous or monogamy, when someone tells you they have always struggled to be monogamous and monogamy is important to you, run for the hills. Early on in the relationship, if you see signs that a person you are dating is dishonest, deceitful, or sneaking in other areas of their life, especially with the people they have personal connections with, consider that a red flag. Please understand that I do not condone cheating. It is a painful, brutal violation of trust in a relationship. In sharing with you the most common reasons why I see this take place, I am not excusing any of them. I am merely reporting what I have seen in 3 decades of clinical experience. Here are 9 of the most common reasons why people cheat. First, her first reason is number 1, lack of emotional connection. The number 1 reason why people cheat is a lack of connection in the relationship. Most people do not realize how important creating, maintaining, and nurturing a connection in a relationship is. There will always be temptation, but when people is feeling connected, the odds of acting on those temptations goes down significantly. Studies show that 7% of cheating women and 8% of cheating men due to a sexual dissatisfaction alone. The vast majority cheated either because of a lack of emotional connection in a relationship or a combination of lack of emotional and sexual connection in a relationship. So in my case, there was no lack of sex. There was no lack of emotional connection. There was no lack of verbiage. There was no lack of anything. So I think that he was just a serial cheater. He cheated on his wife with me. He cheated on me with several women. And It went on for 14 years and I allowed it. And I'm one of the ones who is a firm believer that if you allow someone to do something wrong to you and they get away with it, they're going to continue to do it. So if you allow them to cheat, they're going to continue to do it because they like there's no consequences. And me being in my late teens, early 20s, I allow it to happen because I stayed with this man for 14 years. Okay, her reason number 2 is lack of sexual connection. Most couples get lazy about sex. Once they figure out how to get each other off, an initial sexual excitement of a new partner passes. Most couples get complacent about their intimate life. For sex to be great over time, it takes willingness to continue to grow and learn. We need to bring new techniques, fantasies, toys, experiences to the table to keep it fresh. In addition, our needs, fantasies, and things that turn us on can change over time, which is why it is so important for couples to communicate about sex on a regular basis. Without ongoing communication, small sexual desires may slip through the cracks and may be too nervous to express. This can leave one member of a couple more likely to look elsewhere to get their sexual needs met. Sometimes it is easier to ask a stranger to do something kinky or even just to direct them more explicitly about how and where they like to be touched. Number 3 would be bad boundaries with people outside of the relationships. Okay, the next one, bad boundaries with people outside the relationship. Incoming missiles are threats usually from outside sources that come at your relationship. These threats come in a lot of different forms. It is the in-laws who live in your home for months at a time, forcing you to give up your privacy. Your person at work that doesn't care that you are in a relationship, or the ex who keeps sliding in your DMs. It is up to you to make boundaries with people who are disrespecting your relationship or acting like you are single. It is your partner's responsibility to make boundaries with those who approach them as well. Number 4 is fighting unfairly. Conflict in a relationship is inevitable. How this conflict is handled, however, often determines how much damage is done and ultimately how long the relationship lasts. People do not want to stick around in a relationship where their partner hits below the belt when conflicts arise. Being disrespected, hurt, or verbally abused leaves people vulnerable to acting out with others. When you get hurt, angered, triggered, or scared, we are most likely to lash out. The goal is to learn to recognize these moments and to have the impulse control to stop yourself so you can turn a difficult moment into a productive discussion instead of escalating it. Her number 6 is making assumptions about a relationship status. Number 7 is unresolved childhood issues. I'm not understanding what does that have to do with cheating. Number 8 is sex addiction. That I can understand. Someone that's actually addicted to sex. And number 9, it says addiction. So let's go back to number 8, sex addiction. It says, is sex addiction really a thing? I believe it is, just like a drug addiction, excuse me, or alcohol addiction. Yes, it's a thing. People who struggle with sex addiction or as I prefer to call it, sexuality compulsive disorder, violate their own morals, go against their values, and risk that people and things that are important to them in order to get their sexual fix. Like an addict, they have a pathological relationship with their drug of choice. In this case, is sex. Sex is a mood altering experience, and those who are compulsive, whether with a substance or behavior, tend to not be very good at tolerating feelings or regulating emotions. Their ability to tolerate emotional closeness and the ups and downs in relationships and emotional intimacy are challenging. I don't know. That's I guess it's kind of confusing. And so here is another article on why do people cheat in relationships. Discovering a partner has cheated on you can be devastating. You might feel hurt, angry, sad, or even physically sick. But above all, you might be wondering why. In a 2017 study published in the Journal of Sex Research set out to explore this very topic. The study used an online survey and asked 495 people who had cheated in a romantic relationship about the reasons for their infidelity. So the participants were 259 women, 213 men, and 23 people who did not want to say their gender. So it says 87.9% of heterosexuals cheated. Mostly young adults, average age of 20. That's a lot. 87.9, that's a lot. Not necessarily in a relationship, only 58.1% reported being in some type of romantic relationship, and they still cheated. They have number one for cheating will be anger or revenge. Now I can see that, but two wrongs don't make a right. I don't care how you look at it, any language or what have you. Two wrongs do not make a right. Number two, it says falling out of love. So they're saying that they're no longer in love with the other person. So my thing is, if you don't love me, you don't want to be with me, why cheat? Just leave me alone. We break up and you go be with whomever you want to be with. That's common sense right there. Like, you cheating, so it's kind of like giving false hope, because if we're together, you're no longer in love with me, but we're still living together or doing a couple things, but you off cheating. Why are you leading me on? Because that's all you're doing. You have me thinking that everything is okay. It's a little tense right now, but we're gonna get over this hump. He's still here with me, but yet you are doing your own thing with somebody else. Don't lead me on. If you don't want to be with me, don't cheat on me. Just leave me alone. I'll be much happier. You'll be much happier. And we get on with our lives. We can still be friends, but we're not doing all the other stuff. I don't hate you. But, yeah. And the number three is situational factors and opportunity. Number four is commitment issues. Number five is unmet needs. The same thing we talked about with the sex. They're not getting the sex at home, or the type of sex that they want. It says here, partners have different sex drives. One partner can't have sex or doesn't have the interest in sex. One or both partners often spend time away from home. So maybe they both be cheating. Who knows? Number 6 is sexual desire or the lack of. Number 7, wanting variety. Right now, wanting variety. Okay, and they said this variety may also mean different conversations or styles of communication, different non sexual activities, attraction to one another, relationships will relationships with other people in addition to their own current relationship. It's saying a low self-esteem. What number is that? Low self-esteem is number 8. And then they go on about repairing the damage. It says talk to your partner about what happened. For what they gonna lie? Ask if your partner wants to continue the relationship. Ask yourself if you can trust your partner again. Ask yourself if you still want a relationship. Talk to a counselor. So this article, there's actually a lot to read on this article. So they have, do you still want to be in the relationship? Can you work through the reasons of infidelity? Do you see yourself cheating again? What? Okay, but anyway. So if you guys want to read this article, it is by Dr. Timothy J. Legg, and that's Legg. He's a PhD and he's also a psychologist. And this is the October 11th edition 2019 in a magazine called Healthline, HEALTH Line LINE. So it's a lot here to read, so if you can read this on your own time. Yeah, so like I said, I have not cheated, but I have been cheated on several. When I tell you several, I couldn't even tell you how long I've been cheated on. So yeah, so if you and your partner decide to make up, try to figure out a way to make each other happy, because my thing is, I always thought that if you're not being taken care of at home, then you go somewhere else. What is that saying is, what you won't do, someone else will. I believe that wholeheartedly. So, guys, we're gonna end this conversation right here. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video as well. We're trying to get our subscribers up. We want this conversation to work. So you guys, be sure to comment. Like I said, turn on your notification bell and subscribe. Share the information to people. And yeah, so this is, like I said, episode 2 of Adults After Dark. And if you are listening to this while children are present, please send the children to another room. And I think that's it. I think I will talk to you guys next week. Bye now.